Hey, what's up, guys? Just gonna move some stuff around here, get the background video going, and yeah, once notifications go out, we'll get started. Mm-hmm. And drinking some green tea. Yeah, trying something new. It's been a little while. I actually went out and got the matcha, so we're gonna try that out. But anyways, yeah, welcome to the live stream Q&A. Appreciate all the support on the video today. Got quite a few views early on. I usually don't break 100 within 30 minutes, but not mad about it for sure. And yeah, so if you guys want to be part of that series, as I mentioned in that video, go ahead and leave your questions in the comment section of any one of the videos in that series. They will pop up. I do have to go back and check certain videos just because sometimes the feed on YouTube doesn't always show me the newest comments for whatever reason. But yeah, I'll check them out. Yeah. Hey, Andrew, why you got to be like that? Hey, Brandon, you know my brother's name is Brandon, right? Why you got to be like that, Andrea? Oh, cool. Notifications went out on the phone early tonight. That's good. It only took, what, a minute and 10 seconds for it to go out? That's pretty good. That's better than usual. Usually it was like 10 to 15 minutes before I got the notification. So, yeah, not mad about that. Something's going right. But yeah, so this is the live stream Q&A. You can ask whatever you want. I prefer reef-related questions, but you can ask really anything at this point. I mean, we a lot of the same people are always showing up, so I mean, we're kind of a little family now, so I'm okay with sharing certain things. But one question I did get was, when will I return back to my normal content, like behind the camera and like DIY and all that kind of videos, those types of videos, like the rambling and then also the roast my reef, which I do apologize for not getting one of those out. The question or the answer is that I'm gonna do this for I got 3 weeks left or 2.5 weeks left on this little mini algorithm run that I'm doing, and then after that we'll go back to normal. But I will still do these videos, but probably not every single day. I'll probably do like 3 or 4 of them a week, just because they are easy filler content. And then I'll go back to my normal stuff like the rambling, and then I got to show you guys the new overflow boxes. I got to show you the install on that. And then there's a whole bunch of new products that I've developed that I want to show you guys as well. So I'm going to get a drink. Okay, so we've got a question here. Why Fish of Hex? I've always wondered. Well, the Hex part of it was from like high school and then the military. I used to be a kind of a computer nerd back in the day, like a little more than I want to admit. But so I used to do some hexadecimal programming, and that kind of like Hexdex just kind of was a nickname that I had through that little group of people. And then when I went into the military, and it was kind of the code name that I used overseas, and it just kind of stuck. And I don't know where the fish part came from because I don't really specialize in fish. It should have been coral of hex or 3D printing of hex, but I don't know. The fish just kind of was there, and I just never changed it because it's kind of one of the names now, and it's a little too late. So it is what it is, right? So hopefully that takes care of the answer for you. But yeah, appreciate you asking that question. I know a lot of people wonder, and a lot of, it's kind of funny is when I put the FOH on the front of my 3D printed stuff, a lot of you guys who work in like customer service and think it's like front of house, which is interesting as well. I never thought about that, but yeah, appreciate the question. Mike says, "Hey man, I love the new videos, all good information." Hey, thanks, Mike. I think, did you comment on the most recent video? I'm pretty sure you did. The name is ringing a bell. So yeah, I'm trying it out. It's surprisingly easier to create than I thought it would be, because I basically just take questions that you're asking, and if I know the answer, I'll make a video on it relatively quickly. It usually takes a few takes, if that's the word I want to use, because stuttering and accidentally dropping F-bombs and stuff. So I kind of make sure I got to keep those out of there for algorithm wise. But yeah, I mean, it's relatively easy content to make, and you guys like it. But I do want to continue the usual stuff, the DIY and all that kind of stuff. It's the best name ever. All right, yeah. Brandon, yeah. I just talked to him this morning. He's all pissed off. But I gotta get to Vermont. I don't get to Vermont very often. I gotta go check him out, man. That's the thing. I only see my brother like once a year, maybe once every 2 years. It just sucks. We kind of grew apart after I went into the military, and he kind of just stayed there. It just sucks, but it's okay. Maybe someday we'll fix that. Thanks for the Chato. Came in looking great. Hey, no problem. Speaking of Chato, if you guys put in Chato orders, I'm gonna ship it tomorrow. It's usually 2 days, so you should get it by either Sunday or Monday. But I'm going to ship a whole bunch of them out actually tonight, and they will be dropped off tomorrow. I think there's like 15 of you guys who are waiting on Shado to go out, and I will do that tonight after the live stream. So if you ordered it and you haven't got a notification, you probably will tonight. So, all right, next question here. How do you keep the sand bed flat and not a big pile from the wave maker? Let me get a drink. First of all, what is your background there? Tanks? All right, cool. So how do you keep the sand bed flat? Well, you gotta move your power heads in a way that it's not gonna blow the sand around. I mean, I know that seems like a pretty obvious answer, but if your power heads are pointed down to the sand bed, you're gonna obviously blow some of that stuff around. If you just have them pointed upward but have a lot of flow in the tank, it's probably going to spiral around and move the sand. One thing about sand, depending on the size of the grain, if you got a really fine grain, there's not really much you can do. Even with a little bit of flow, it could probably or possibly move the sand around just to whatever the low flow zone is. That's just kind of one of the downsides to sand. But do you really want it to be really flat? I think that having kind of the ups and downs and like the waviness, like it is in the desert, I think it gives it more of a natural look. I mean, sand alone gives a pretty natural look. But yeah, if your wave makers are pointed down, move them, and you should be good. If they're still doing it, then you can lower the flow. But that's on you at that point, depending on the type of tank you have. I heard Fish of Hex had a brother named Brandon. Sure do, man. Sure do. I love the guy so much. He's a little bit of weirdo when he gets drunk. I know he doesn't listen to my streams, but we went out to, like, for his birthday, he came to Pennsylvania, and we went out to like this bar and grill or something, but like they have a happy hour after like 9:30 or something. And he got like, he drinks, but I mean, I don't drink, but he really hammers them. But he got super plastered, and he was like starting fights with people. And he's like, yo, my brother's gonna beat you up. I'm like, no, the hell I'm not. I'm not going to jail for you. So he's like starting fights with people and like trying to hook up with swingers and dancing with some really large, inappropriate people, like just things that you shouldn't do. I got videos. I'll probably post them someday just as blackmail material. But he did some things that were like in the morning. I was like, do you want to see this? He's like, I don't want to see anything. I don't remember anything after 10 p.m. and I don't want to know. So yeah, that was the last time I hung up with him. So that was in June. So hopefully we'll get together again soon. What you think of Terrence not being with Neptune no more news drop? Well, to be completely honest with you, I wasn't even aware of that. Guys, I hate admitting this. Some of you guys get really pissed off that I'm not in the like in and outs, and like, I don't want to say this in a way that makes sense. I'm not up everyone's butt like certain other YouTubers. I have, if you guys knew the amount of stuff like personal wise that is going on in my life, you'd be like, oh, he still makes videos. That's a shocker in itself. To be honest with you, Rob, I don't follow any of that stuff. I just don't. I had no idea. I think last time I heard is Neptune got bought out, and that was it. I didn't know he left. He was the face of the company, so we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, so I do apologize, guys, for not being on the inside or not really paying attention to that stuff. But life calls. We all gotta take care of things. I'm a single dad. I got 4 kids. I run technically 2 businesses in one, and got a lot of stuff going on. I got jujitsu 3 days a week. I got a whole bunch of other training. So, life is extremely busy for me on top of packing hundreds and hundreds of orders every month, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's very difficult to keep up on these things. So, cool. All right. Jake says, cool, man. Love it. Keep up the awesome work. Much love from Australia. Hey, I want to go to Australia someday just because I am super interested in the accent and the food, and I want to pet a kangaroo. So ideal situation for me. Beautiful. I don't know. Can I say this? No, I'm just going to be like, just imagine, we're just going to skip that because I'm going to get demonetized. Moving on. Thank you. Can't wait to go to Australia someday. Okay, Travis, enjoy the daily uploads. Hey, man, thanks. RPM Productions, is that what it is? I'm guessing that's car stuff. I'll have to check you out, man. Getting big now. Travis, got to watch commercials to see your videos now. Hey, don't be mad. You got to watch all those commercials. And I appreciate you becoming a supporting member, by the way. And check out the new emojis that you can mess around with. And yeah, I'll be right there, bud, Jake. Yeah, it's it's a good thing. I mean, I won't lie to you guys. I'm upfront with you. Since we started this like a week and a half ago, my revenues doubled, my views have doubled, and subscribers have doubled. So it's doing something, and I'm not mad about it. I'm definitely not mad. So where do you stand on the whole reefing has to be expensive debate? Okay, before I get to that cue ball, let me just give a shout out to SOMD Morphs for becoming a supporting member. Appreciate that. And you guys get special stuff going on with that. And Jake said I gave a donation here. I don't know what what that currency is. I'm assuming it's Australia. But please come. I'll give you the grand tour. Yeah, man, I would love to go to Australia. I got a ton of countries on my bucket list that I want to go to, and that is by far top 5 for sure. I just really want to pet a kangaroo, and I don't want him to kick my ass. So I don't want like a grown kangaroo that can like knock you the hell out, because I've seen videos. I want just a cute one to come up. I can dress up in a giant kangaroo costume, and he can like hop in my pouch, and we can walk around together. Like that's what I want. So yeah. Anyways, now you guys got one of my fantasy fetishes or whatever going on. Well, that's on the internet, Travis. It ain't coming off now. Moving back to cue ball reefs. Question here. So where do you stand on the whole reefing has to be expensive debate? It does not need to be expensive. If you guys have seen, well, if you've been following the channel, I started with the 125. That was 100% DIY. It was that entire setup costs less than the sump that I have on the 300 now. So, and I grew acros and SPS no problem in that tank. Granted, the colors probably weren't the best because I was still trying to figure out what was working for me, but the tank grew out great. It started everything, and it didn't cost that much money. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it has to be expensive. I think everybody believes that you have to spend a lot of money to see success, and that's not true. And that might be a video I'll do later in the week or next week, is that, you don't need to have the best of everything, because I've seen the other side. Like I've seen my success with relatively cheap stuff like SB Reef Lights and Aqua Mars and DIY 50-gallon sumps and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I've seen the other spectrum where I've had clients spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on a setup, and they can't even grow SPS because they're just too busy getting caught up in the the latest and greatest and all this stuff. They don't focus on the basics. So I think if you focus on what is important, the skill base, and you could get away with a lot with a very little, and then you can just expand from there. Imagine what you can do when you do have the equipment that backs up the price. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process on it. If you guys want a video a little bit more in depth, I can do that. Definitely doing a good job on the new content. Appreciate it, Marcus. Definitely do. I like your hat. I mean, I've never seen anybody at a beach wearing a hat, but I guess it gets cold near the beach, right? I don't know. I've never been to the ocean. I think I told you guys that, right? Never, ever been in the ocean. Not even by accident. Not even fallen. No one even threw me in as a kid. Never. Kind of weird. Yeah. Hey, Fish of Hex. Can you recommend the most hands-off method to perform water changes without lifting buckets? Very bad back. Okay. All right, yeah, I can do that. So do I have Jeff's build? I think I have a client build that was basically like that. So what we did, I'll kind of sum it up. We went ahead, and when we did water changes, like removed water, it would be a siphon. So you could either use a pump, depending on how you're feeling. If you just want to pump water out, I would pump that to a drain, whatever you prefer. Rather it be outside. You probably don't want to drop that in your septic tank, but hey, it's on you, depending on what you want. But either way, you can use a pump or siphon to pull water out. And now what you want to do is, for your mixing barrel, you're going to have 2 barrels, one with RODI water and then one next to it that is salt water. You're going to connect those with PVC and a pump, but then you're going to be able to pump that water back into the tank. So you just run PVC over to the sump or over to the main display tank. So when you do water changes, you just make a mark on the tank, and then you make a mark on the barrel. So you know to bring this much water out of the tank, knowing that when you turn the pump on, it's going to pump all that water from the barrel back into the tank. You don't have to lift any buckets. You don't have to do anything other than, put scoops of salt in and turn a valve for RODI. So that's the method we've used before, and it worked out really, really well. Again, it just takes a little bit of dialing in, but once you do, and you make the marks on the tank and on the barrel, and you get, perfect amount of scoops, it's really easy to take care. Easy to take care of, and good to go. If you guys didn't notice in the video today, my eyes are like really red because my allergies are super effed. I only went out hunting once this week. Disappointed because I only went out once. And it was Saturday. I haven't had a chance to even step outside, but the weather seems to be messing with me. Anyways, hopefully that helps, man. Next question here. I've been thinking of making my own saltwater nitrate from potassium nitrate salts. I have no mono potassium phosphate. I make my own ferts, my freshwater tank. So I was wondering if it's the same process. Well, I don't. I mean, I used to talk about what I make my stuff out of, but I don't really do it anymore because the last time I did, I ended up lost a ton of money. So I don't really talk about too much about what I put in there, but there are plenty of stuff on the forums, and there's plenty of information just Google wise that you can, determine. But yeah, I mean, potassium phosphate work, KNO3. I mean, that's basically what it is. So, yeah, I mean, that's about the extent I'll be able to give you on that. But yeah, I hate to be a dick about that kind of stuff, but it's just like, here's all this free information and let's take money out of my pocket. I don't do that too much anymore, but I do apologize anyways. Aloha, Refos. Okay. Would you be able to make a small frag rack, like 6 frags for sale to share the file 3D printing? Well, I can make you, yeah, I mean, I have those racks already up on the site. Are you talking about like a suction cup, or are you talking about one that sits at the bottom of the tank? Let me know, Shadow. But yeah, I can make whatever. Just put in a custom 3D printed item based on the size, and I can make whatever you want. By the way, custom items are back in stock because I got caught up. There's like 3-4 left right now that are in queue, and they're relatively easy. So I'm not upset. I got through a big chunk of them. But yeah, so you can let me know. You can message me on the website, and I'll be able to get some more information from you if you want. But yeah, I can make anything as long as it's not going inside you. I'll make it legal purposes. I gotta say that. So I remember the night and the videos. That night and the videos. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was a rough night for him. I went to college in PA. Nice fellow PA reefer. Nice. Marcus says here, flat sand is kind of boring. Let it do its thing and look natural. I've never been diving and seen complete flat sand. I've never been diving and seen complete flat sand. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, the ocean's moving everything around. So yeah, I mean, if you like the look, I mean, you could just move your power heads the way you want, so you can have the flat sand. But I don't know how natural that is. What happened to the sand in the 300 pole? I think it's still up. I haven't checked it. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it because I've made some pretty big changes to the tank over the last couple months, just with nutrients, and I've cut more coral out of this tank than most people grow in a lifetime, and that's not even a joke. If you guys notice the website, I might as well address that now. The website has almost nothing in stock, nothing. And all I got to say to that is I'm cutting stuff, and I'm continuing to cut stuff, and it will be back in stock as soon as it can. Best thing to do is sign up for notifications, and you'll be notified when it comes back in. But yeah, I am. There's so much coral that I don't have anymore, just because I sold it all, and now it's got to regrow out. I put this stuff on little plates, and then it has to regrow into colonies. So, was there a video on the NO3 and PO4 and how it came to be? There was a video a while ago. I took it down for that reason that I mentioned. But yeah, so once the tank is a little bit more established, since we are going to be here for a little over a year again, like an additional year, I am considering putting sand in the tank. You guys do want to see it, but I just have to weigh the pros and cons when it comes to putting it in there versus how the tank's going to react. So I'll play that out and let you know. It says, did Terrence quit? ? Rob says yes. I don't know. So I guess if he says yes, then yes. I guess I'm not up to date either. Well, there you go. Yeah. Cody says, is there anything you don't like about your Geo Sump? I'm thinking of getting one. What are the dimensions of your Sump, not including the ATO calcium reactor and Sump itself? Yo, bro, I don't know. The second part of that question, I don't know. I mean, I did a video on it in the series, the 300-gallon series. You're going to have to check that out. I mean, it fits directly underneath the 8-foot by 2-foot stand. So you're going to have to double check that. I don't know off the top of my head. It's been so long. But as for, is there anything I don't like about the Geo Sump? Not really. The only complaint that I could even pull out of it that I think is probably a stretch is that the cover that goes over the filter sock holder started to warp about 2 years in, but nothing too crazy. Other than that, I can't, I can't think of anything that I dislike about it. No, I mean, other than that, and that's a stretch itself because maybe I didn't have it on there right. So, but other than that, there is no complaints with the Geo Sump. I will be getting another one for the new setup when I do relocate eventually, and yeah, I mean, there's no. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that there might be wrong, but yeah, they're a great investment. I think they're a great sump. I mean, you're going to pay money for it, as with everything in life. I mean, if you want quality, that's not going to be cheap, and expect there to be a delay when it comes to making. I'm assuming he's still backed up in orders. I don't foresee him having any reason not to be backed up. He's always got people looking for stuff. So it's a good guy, and yeah, it's worth the money for sure. Here we go. Here, John Reefer, Vermont. Hey, I was born in Vermont. I don't know if I told you that, John. I think I told Brandon comes in, and then the dude with the Vermont name. And anyways, I think Terrence was really a weight too difficult for Neptune to maintain. Sometimes he came across unless he thought it was a good idea. It was not. Okay, I don't understand what you guys. I mean, I guess you guys are talking about Terrence, but I don't really know. I don't want to get caught up in that stuff because I don't want to be part of that drama, whatever it is. Not good. Got enough of it in my life. Congratulations on your success. Hey, thanks, Chad. Yeah, it just takes a little, I thought owning your own business would be easier. There's definitely some things about it, like the freedom to do certain things. But then, when you have the freedom to do things, and when you have a business, you're like, well, I have the freedom, but should I? And then you're like, nope, I should probably just go back to work, because if I take this time to go do something I enjoy, I'm going to be even farther behind, and I'm going to have people pissed off. So yeah, it's great, but it's also, it's extremely stressful. But as with everything, there's always trade-offs. Don't play with your new dick emoji too much. You'll go blind. Yeah, words of wisdom from Marcus, the new dick emoji. I mean, Gabe does it on every video. I appreciate it, by the way. And only members get that emoji, and I'm probably going to add some more. I'm just trying to think whatever's not going to get me in trouble. Brandon says, question, I forgot you are running an algae scrubber. If so, does it really reduce nuisance algae? Well, I used to have one from the business I can no longer name, but yeah, I mean, it worked when I had it. It did a good job of pulling out. It kind of, I'm yawning here. Give me a second. It kind of, it pulled out quite a bit of nutrients relatively quickly. It did strip the imported system at first, but I think that was just because it was breaking in. But once it got established, it did pretty well. I'm more of a Chaeto kind of guy, just because I do sell that stuff on the website, and why not? But yeah, I'm not running an algae scrubber at the moment, just Chaeto. So, but yeah, it does work. It definitely works. But I did mention in a previous video, I think this week, that there are downsides to the scrubber. I mean, if you lose power, or the light doesn't work for days, or you don't realize it, or if you don't have a flow to it for a long period of time, or it gets clogged, I mean, you got to buy a quality one, and you got to make sure that it's taken care of, or the algae will just die and it will be useless. So if a customer had problems, it was mostly the customer's fault. We did not understand or appreciate why something worked a certain way. I'm super confused on. I think that was part of the previous thing. I just bumped in on that. That was part of the previous thing you said. Dude, some of those kangaroos are jacked. Yeah, kangaroos got some biceps, man. I've seen the videos where they're just like kicking the crap out of people. What about that one where that guy's dog was getting like held hostage by a kangaroo, and he just went over and punched it in the face? like who? And then he's like putting his dukes up, ready to go against this kangaroo. But the thing is, I don't think that they actually hit you. I think they hold on to you, and then they kick you and like slash you with their, I don't know, do they have hooves? I don't know what they got down there. But their little razor blades, their little velociraptor toes, or whatever they got going on down there. I'm assuming they use that to like rip you open and like spill your stuff out, kind of like a velociraptor would. But over here talking like Jurassic Park. But anyway, yeah, jack kangaroos. Welcome to the Fish Channel, guys. I'm doing a 25-gallon every other week on my 120. It just keeps showing up. Okay, let me see where we missed here. Question. Okay, about the nuisance algae. Okay, so if your nuisance algae is still showing up with a, let me click back on your stuff, with a 20-gallon water change every other week, then you can either increase your water change or, Brandon, find the source. I mean, you got nuisance algae for a reason. So either your feeding habits, your RODI, your salt, or you're just not pulling, maybe you're not doing big enough water changes based on your stocking level and your rock and all that kind of stuff. So also one thing that I always throw out there is if you're running like bio bricks, marine pier, or anything like that, artificial kind of rocks or anything in your tank, be careful with that stuff. I want to share a story. I can do it briefly. I don't want to get into detail because I don't want to call it the company, but there's a company that makes man-made rock, and it comes in, I think, purple and regular color or whatever. And they're from overseas, but basically this person was making this rock and selling it pretty cheap. And I had a client, I know he's military. I don't know if he's in here now, but he started his tank with this rock, cured it, and then ran his tank. And you should have seen the forest of green hair algae. He removed the rock, cured new rock, put in that, and all the problems completely gone. Come to find out, I mean, just the amount of nitrates and phosphates that were leaching from this man-made rock. So the point is, if you have man-made rock or you're using bio bricks or anything like that, marine pier, some of that stuff really contributes to holding on to nitrates and releasing nitrates and phosphates. So double check that stuff too. I know that I removed all my marine pier a while back, and things definitely started looking up from there. That picture was definitely taken when it was cold. Yeah. I'm still preparing my roast my reef episode, if that ever happens. Mid finger. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you submitted the stuff, I mean, it will be done soon or at some point. I don't want to say soon. I hate saying soon. It will be done. It just got to do it, man. No apologies needed. Thanks though. Hey, no problem, man. I hate being a jerk like that. Ugh, but it's just kind of what I got to do to save my own skin. I shut down my old tank and it had flatworms in it. I put my SPS in my quarantine tank for around 4 weeks now and don't see any. Should I treat the tank for flatworms anyways? Yeah, I would treat the tank, the main display for sure, for flatworms. Yeah. It's relatively easy to treat for flatworms. On the grand scheme of pests that you can get in a reef tank, flatworms are not so bad. I think if I was to rank them pest wise for SPS, acropora wise, I'm not talking about like zoas or anything, but I would say flatworms are at the bottom. The next up would be red bugs, which are, if you have a dog and you're already getting like heartworm medicine and stuff like that, it's probably not as big of a deal as if you don't have a dog that you can use to get that medicine. Which I don't think I can say, but I did say. I don't know if that's right. I know that you could tell your doctor, hey man, this is for my dog, but my reef tank is having some issues with red bugs and I need some extra, and they'll probably sell it to you. Anyway, but yeah, so it goes flatworms, red bugs, and then moving up from there is the acropore eating flatworms, which are, a different type of flatworm, not your little red little nuisance flatworms that you see on the glass. I'm talking about the ones that lay eggs and then go ham on your SPS acros particularly, and then eat them all. But yeah. But yeah, I definitely treat the main display. It's really cheap to do it too. And then just make sure you get some carbon and you siphon them out, if you have to. Let's see here. Are you going to buy new frags to grow out new corals? So, Reggie, I'm debating on that because, let's see, I'm renewing my townhouse lease in February, which then it technically starts in April. And then I'm going to do a year from there. So let's just say from February, I have a year. So February, this coming up, I have a year additional. I mean, I could probably grow out some pretty good corals in a year. I'm almost debating, just because my coral side of things, and this is a very difficult decision to make, is I'm almost wanting to start to import again and then just using the one system that I have, because at this point I have sold probably 85% of the coral I own, or had grown over the last few years. The amount of orders that are coming in are just, there's no way of keeping up with them unless I import coral and go down that route again. If I just strictly go with growing stuff out, like right now, I got bird's nest growing out on 3 plates. That won't be available to buy for at least 6 months. I mean, and that situation right there is like that for about 15 to 20 other corals that I originally had in the display tank. So I've grown so much of it. It still grows just as fast, but the thing is that it's always being cut. It's always being sold. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Um, just because the business is kind of at a standstill. I can't physically add any more printers, even though I need them. So orders will just have to continue to get processed as soon as they can, which is great. But that's just one part of the business that's kind of stalled out. And now when it comes to coral, it's kind of stalling out as well because I don't have enough coral to sell. I just don't have it. And if I cut colonies too small, they'll never really grow, and I'll never be able to produce enough corals. One of the things about growing colonies and getting frags from it is the bigger the colony is, the more frags you're going to get. I know that makes sense, but the point is that if the colony is already big and you cut off a couple frags here and there, it's not going to make a big deal because the colony is still so large it's going to continue to grow a ton more. But so cutting off a few every week is not a big deal. But when you start hacking off huge chunks, or you're cutting 15 or 20 on a colony that's relatively small, it never has a chance to grow and to have additional limbs that can produce additional frags, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm in a weird spot right now trying to decide what I want to do because there's such a risk when it comes to importing coral that I'm going to be putting my entire display tank at risk of, because there's no room for an additional quarantine tank to take on that much coral, because the printers are taking up half of the fish room. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what route I want to go. Plus, if I start importing coral, the prices of coral is going to go up. Right now, I can get away with selling coral really, really cheap, and which is great. And I mean, it's good for sales and people are buying it. But if I'm importing stuff, it's not going to be cheap anymore. It's going to be based off of the market, and it can get pretty crazy depending on what comes in. So it's a risk factor. It's something that I have to kind of figure out what I want to do. I'm just I just know I just know for the next build, I can't let this happen. So there's a lot of things that I've already mentally put in place to prevent it from happening in the future, i.e., having several, maybe 10 of these large tubs, and at least half of them being strictly for grow out disc, and then always having quarantine going, bringing in new frags that can grow on disc and continue to grow, plus having a 1,000 gallon display tank growing acros, and then having a 300 upstairs growing acros not only expands my ability to grow them. So it's a weird spot for me, and I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. I know that went on for a while, but now you know. 1 year reefer, thinking about smoking about switching. Oh, thinking about switching to Zeovit, 250 gallon mixed reef. What are your opinions on on Zeal, that system? Okay, so Zeovit, I don't think you should go to Zeovit. That whole system. I mean, you have a 250 gallon tank. You want to run full Zeovit? Well, you better be ready to spend some money. That's going to be expensive. I would not do Zeovit on a larger tank. Also, the concept of Zeovit is if you think about it, it just doesn't match what we know now. It's kind of one of those things where you're in a really, really low nutrient environment, and you're just kind of keeping the corals going based on your dosing method and what you're putting in a tank. I tried it before. I did it for a little while before I almost killed myself with the overflow in the fish room or fish closet. Long story. You guys can watch that video. But yeah, I don't recommend you do it. I think you should go more of a natural route, especially being a 1 year reefer. I think that if you go the natural route, you have a better chance of success. Last thing I want you to do is start a Zeovit system, especially on a 250 gallon tank. We're going to be dosing a lot of stuff quite often, and it's going to get really expensive. You don't know what you're looking for and what success looks like yet. So at least not for your own success and your own ability. So I think if you start going down that route, you might get disappointed pretty quickly, and you might end up throwing in the towel. So go natural, and that means like natural filtration, like Chato, and dosing if you want to dose like additional supplements when it comes to like reef colors and aquavitra fuel and stuff like that. That's what I mean. I think that's your best route and your safest route. Gabe has at least had to start wearing reading glasses since becoming a member. Because that dick emoji, yeah, right. What kind of Chaeto do you sell? It's just Chaetomorpha. It's just basic stuff, man. I don't know if there's a different type of it. I don't know. There are two versions of one grows really fast and the other grows slower and very brittle. I'm very interested. Well, mine grows really fast and it's not brittle, so I'm assuming it's the first one. It grows extremely fast. Yep. But what I do is I sell it until I'm about halfway full in my refugium. Then I take it out of stock, grow it back up, and then put it back in stock. And notifications tell you guys when it's back in. Works out good. Just in, smelling like ass crack and ball sack. Tired of this work thing. Hey, I mean, at least you worked, right? You could be like these other people who are just kind of just sitting around waiting for that extra check to come in and refusing to work, hoping that the next relief bill comes. So Gerald, take some pride in your work, man, because you're doing it, and not very many people are. So that's enough right there in itself. I will protect my dogs. I wish I knew what that was attached to. Roof. Anyways, I walked away for 2 minutes and came back to jack kangaroos who used their dinosaur toes to rip your guts out. What the fuck? Welcome to the party that you get for leaving. Hey, no problem, Brandon. You're welcome. I seriously am not a fan of toes. Kangaroos are human. Kangaroos are human toes. I'm not a toe fan either. I don't know. I don't really have toe fetish. I mean, as long as they're not like gnarly. Like when you're laying next to somebody in bed and then they like rub that shit up the back of your leg and you think you're bleeding out, you got to turn on the light to check. Like, I don't like that. So I'm assuming a kangaroo could do a lot worse with his toes or his hooves or his toe hooves. Somebody Google what kangaroo. I'm going to do it. Never mind. What are kangaroo toes called? Toenails called. Hey, look. Okay. Let's see. Fascinating kangaroo facts. Okay. Let's look. Fascinating kangaroo facts. Look at the size of that beast, man. That's a little pouch. Like, you see, why wouldn't you want to pet that? Man, I'm gonna lose people. We're gonna lose viewers so quick. They can grow to be 6 feet tall. That's not happening. I'm looking to see if it says anything about their toenails. Oh, jeez, this is too much stuff. This is too many kangaroo facts. Okay, I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna get you guys that information back later because that's too much. That's too many facts. But I will find out what their toes are called besides toes. You're the only person I heard that. Google that. Yeah. Do you run Zeovit system? What is your opinion about it? I do not run it anymore. My opinion of it is it worked to a certain extent, but it was a lot of work, as in you had to pay attention to certain things that you really don't have to do if you have a normal system. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I know you're leaning towards it, and I know you're in that, like, you want to do it and you should do it, but you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. I don't think it's a good idea. I really find that being a new reefer and diving into Zeovit is a big mistake. Just I was going to use a really inappropriate analogy, but I'm in the mission to be monetized again, so I can't. Thanks. Hey, no problem, Kevin. How about camel toe Marcus? He's all about that one. There we go. Mike says, since you're talking about rock, I was not thinking you were going to say that. I just got some premium live rock from KP with tons of hitchhikers. I'm curing. I have and having second thoughts on adding it to my display. Need more rock space for coral. Okay, so when you say hitchhikers, what do you mean? Like, what do you got going in there? I'll tell you, like, the biodiversity and benefits of real live rock is great. Don't get me wrong. It's really good, but it's kind of like, do I want to stay monetized? It's kind of like going to the club and just drinking like 20 beers and walking out with somebody and not using a condom. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're starting, and you don't know what you're going to wake up with in the morning. So you just don't do it. Just don't do it, Brandon. if you're listening. Not Brandon on here, my brother. Yeah, just don't do it. Like I just compared live rock to weird chicks and STDs. Well, guaranteed the only one doing that in our community. You're welcome. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. How far am I behind on chat? We've been here for 40 minutes, so I'm 10 minutes behind on chat. That's not too bad. Now we got talking about camel toes. That's great. Watch out for Indonesian and Fiji might shut down for all export depending on your licensing. Good to know. Thanks for the heads up, Brandon. Maybe a rumor. Well, all rumors start with some sort of truth. Just depends on how they evolve. Kind of like cannabis. I think the moonshiners would be better than Zeovit personally. I'm telling you, Zeovit, it was a cool idea. I was super excited about it, but man, I was disappointed. Just overall. Do enemies do chemical warfare to each other? Same species, not that I know of, but yeah, even with bubble tips next to long tentacle enemies, I've never seen any issues. I will say if they're touching coral and like zoas and just coral in general, I think that they're stinging. I don't know if you would consider that chemical warfare, but they do jack up everything they touch. And, if you have a mixed reef, there's a good chance that wherever you put your anemone, it's probably going to go where your favorite coral is. Seen it a couple times. So as for chemical warfare, I don't think there's anything else. It's possible. Yeah, fun fact for you. When you touch an anemone and it like sticks to you, it's actually like little harpoons that are in your skin that he's holding on to you with. It's kind of crazy. You can see that stuff underneath a microscope. But yeah, I don't know if that's really an answer, man, but I did my best. Hey, good to see you. Love the channel. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Drunk MC awesome. Drunky MC awesome. I don't know what that photo is, like some kind of robot or something. But hey, thanks for the support, man, or woman, whatever you are. Matt says, will your next build be even bigger? If so, how big are you thinking? Okay, so just a rough rundown on this, so we're not taking up too much time. It's going to be a 1,000 gallon Peninsula tank, and then Andrew just sent me a picture of the toes of a kangaroo. Funky. No way. Okay, guys, Google kangaroo toes. You can see on his back paw there, it is like a velociraptor toe. It's like a little velociraptor toe. Frig that nonsense. Like little daggers. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to hug a kangaroo. Fuck that. That'll rip you right open. That'll probably take your wiener right off. One shot. Anyways, kangaroo feet. Yeah, thanks for sending me that. Check that off the bucket list. Anyways, I lost train of thought. Yeah, so the bigger tank. So it's going to be a 1,000 gallon, 10 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot peninsula, roughly 1,000 gallons. And then we're going to have that downstairs, and then we're going to have the 300 upstairs in the wall, plumb down, one sump, and then I'm going to have probably 5 to 8-ish of those tubs that I currently have. What are they, 3 foot by 8 foot by 1 foot? I'm going to have quite a few of those, and that's going to be the setup. And then we're going to double our printer, so we're going to have probably 40, if not 50 3D printers, because I need them. And thanks whoever put an order in for, I think, Chato. Whoever did that, whoever did it, I don't know if I can call him out, but thanks for the order. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a bigger setup. It's going to be probably stupid expensive, but yeah, it is the business. So I'll write that shit off. I'm placing an order for Chato. All right, John. Well, that must be you then. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. They'll be out to tonight. If not tonight, you'll get it. You'll be shipped between now and Monday. All right. Travis, Chato is legit. Appreciate that, man. Yes, if you guys have issues and be honest with me, sometimes UPS, even though it is 2-day, it's priority mail, sometimes they take longer. And if you get it and it's not green, all you gotta do is send me a picture of it. I'll send you your money back. And it's not a big deal. I'm not one to keep that stuff if it dies in transit. But 9 out of 10 times it's usually fine. So it always smells like ass. It just does, because it's just water kind of sitting in there. But if you rinse it off, and it's good. As long as it's green, it's good. LOL toe hooves. I have literally seen people with those. What are you, from the deep south, my friend? You're the only person on earth that had Googled that, probably. What size tank can you keep them in? Let me see what the previous question was. I'm trying to find. Did you ask a previous question? Because I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't see a previous question, man or woman, junior. I must have missed it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't answer. I don't know. I mean, anemones maybe. But Brandon says, I know when I need kangaroos. what size tank can you keep him? I don't think you can based on the whole dagger toes. Look, seriously, go look up kangaroo feet. It is disgusting. Man, I don't know how do we even get on that? Oh yeah, me going to Australia. Yeah. I still want to put a little one in my pouch, in my kangaroo suit, and jump around with him. That's still going to happen. But yeah, I don't think you can put kangaroos in a tank. I don't think that's even legal. I don't think you can even bring a kangaroo to the United States. Probably crossbreed with some hillbilly, and you have some weird, funky stuff going on. Anyways, I know when I need to clip the nails when the holes in my socks. Yeah, I have to clip them every week because of jiu-jitsu, man. I mean, I don't want to be swinging bare feet around cutting people's throats with dagger toes. So that was one of the etiquette things that was part of jiu-jitsu, is you got to make sure your nails, fingernails and toenails are always clipped and smooth, because you can really hurt somebody. I actually stuck my finger in a guy's eye last Wednesday. Felt awful about it. I went around, flipped him on his stomach and went around for a rear naked choke, and I stuck my finger in his eye and I could feel it. I was like, oh man. So I didn't choke him. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I walked away from that. But yeah, I just felt like a jerk. And if I had long nails, I probably would have came out with his eyeball. Anyways, Blue Basin Aquatics. How do you like those 115-gallon tubs? I have one and made the stand similar to yours. I'm a little worried that about the bottom. I feel like the sheet apply to it. Well, I did bracing all the way across, and it doesn't warp or anything. As long as you put the bracing for the 2x4s right where it's actually indented on the tub, absolutely no issues. It does feel a little weak without the bracing, but other than that, there's no issues at all. No issues. There's another kangaroo thing here. Marcus says, so when are you going to start selling camel toe keychains and kangaroos? Well, I could probably do that relatively quickly, Marcus. But do I want to? Yes, I do. Anyways, Urban Rescue Ranch has a baby kangaroo. He lives in Texas. It's a good channel. Apparently, you can keep them if you say you're growing them for meat. Well, I'm gonna ask my townhome development if I can grow kangaroos for meat, because that's gonna happen. I'm trying to figure out how I can make a camel toe keychain and have it look like one appropriately. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Hey, Travis, did you put the Lobo back in 300? I did, yes, because I was running out of room for it to be in the low boys at one point, and I was like, screw it. I just put it back in the 300 because the 300 is pretty much naked, and I needed something. Man, we only got 12 minutes left of the stream. Damn. Well, we're getting close to the end of the comments anyways. Questions. It's a valid comparison. My anemone is now 10 anemones. That's good. That means you can sell 9 of those jokers and pay some bills. It's almost a curse to think of everything in the hobby as a way to sell it. Ugh. That's one of the downsides when you turn a hobby into a business. So your brain just goes there automatically. It's not exactly the greatest thing in the world. It kind of takes away from the hobby. But yeah, had a question about frag tank startup at 8:08 if you have time. Let me go check. 8:08. Let me scroll up. I don't know how I missed it. Was it in English? Okay, let me see here. 8:08. 8. You sure? You sure? I didn't see it. Didn't come through because I'm looking right here. 8:07. And I got Max Marine. I got Marcus talking shit about kangaroos. And I got Salty Reef. What happened to the 300-gallon sand pole? And then nothing. So your question did not come through. So feel free to put it back. Feel free to put it back in if I can speak English today. Let me scroll back down to wherever I was. Yeah, go ahead and put that question back, and I'll answer it before we shut down. Been down the road with the NEMs. Yeah, I like growing NEMs. My circumstances right now are just not. I can't because it's not going to work out. We still talking about kangaroo feet? Okay. All right. I forgot there's a delay in the chat. We're still like 7 minutes behind. All right. There goes your monetizing. That's right, man, John. There goes the monetizing. It's okay. It's just one live stream. It's not horrible. Your daily videos are very informative. Awesome job. Keep them coming. Hey, no problem, Terry. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Glad you guys like those because I like them too. I like putting out content. It just feels good to put. I feel like every time I upload a video, I feel like I accomplished something for the day, even though I've already done other things. It's just like, okay, it's done. Now I can move on with the rest of my life. That's the feeling I get every single time I upload a video. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. So when are you going to start selling camo? Oh, you already talked about that. Keychains and camo toes. Yep. All right. Well, we're at the end of our chat. I'm going to wait for the RPM guy to put in his question again, and then I'm going to head out. I'll give him a couple minutes to do that. You guys have no idea how loud I'm laughing over here. Oh, that's great. Oh, here we go. RPM Reef. All right. So this is going to be the last question for tonight, and then we're going to be good. Unless you guys have something else to kind of, we got 9 minutes left technically. Must have not went through. I have a 165-gallon 3-year-old reef tank. Want to start a 20-gallon frag tank. Okay to use water from the 165-gallon rock, no rock, nitrogen cycle. Okay, so if you are starting a 20-gallon frag tank and it's not attached to that main setup, then I'm assuming you're going to have a sump or maybe a hang on, or maybe it's like a built-in all-in-one. You're going to want to use a little bit of rock. What you can do, and thanks for whoever put in the orders. There's some orders coming through, a couple different ones. Appreciate it, whoever you are. Yeah, Roberto, go ahead and ask a question. And I'm pretty sure you're the guy I sent the lid out to. Anyways, but yeah, so if you are having like an all-in-one and you're just using rock from the main display, if you can't get rock from your main display, then you're gonna have to put in like new rock, right? So that rock needs to cure. So what I would recommend you do is, if you're gonna buy some additional rock for that frag tank, is to go ahead and put that in the sump of your current system. Give it a month or so to build up beneficial bacteria, then put that in that frag tank, then take water during a water change from your main display, put it in the frag tank, and then you're going to be good to go. Of course, it's always nice to have like a fish in there. So maybe put like a clownfish or a wrasse or whatever you want. A little mini tang. I mean, someone's going to be like, oh my God, Fish of Heck said put a tang in a 20-gallon. It happens. It just happens. I saw a guy put a baby hippo tang in a 3-gallon tank, and I just was like, okay, I'm not gonna argue with you because apparently we are not on the same page. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's what I would do. Hopefully that answers your question. Thanks. You're no problem, man. All right, so let's see here. We got a couple more. What is the best test kit for accurate low-level nitrate and phosphate readings? I know Hannah, but something less expensive. Sorry, DJM Junior. There is nothing else that is accurate for low readings. That's not color. I mean, you can go like a Red Sea. I mean, they're good, but you're playing the color game, and that is not good for accuracy wise. So, yeah, I would say either get a corner job or bum some money off a bud. Sell some frags. I know there's some freaky sites out there where you can like put yourself out. I mean, whatever you want, but just point is get some extra money and just buy the Hannahs. And I don't advocate you selling your body for Hannah checkers. I just got to put that out there legally. I can't tell you to do that, but the point is that Hannah's about all you can use, and this is about to derail real quick. Let's see if we get a couple more questions. I'm getting tired here. So, hey Travis, I have a question. What's up, Roberto? It's about order made 5379. I was confused about the last email you sent. Oh, let me look it up, buddy. Let me look it up. Because I sent a ton of emails, so I don't know. I'm gonna see what we got going on here. 5397. If it loads, 5397. Did we make an adjustment? Let me look up your email real quick. I feel like we made an adjustment to your order, and maybe I'm confused. Let me check. Let me just. You guys don't have to bear with this shit because I know it's gonna bother me. Just give me a second. Just hang out. All right, I'm gonna have to go through that email after. I'll hit you up after this. Come on over to the chat on the website now and just be like, hey Travis, and we can go over all that stuff. Just come over to the website and hit me up on chat. We'll figure it out, because we have a few emails back and forth, and it's a custom item, and I just want to get you the right information. So, saying that you were waiting on free printer, not sure we. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, guys. Okay, so what happened is the 12-inch frag racks, I had to take them down from the website because too many of them sold, and I only have 2 printers, and it got to the point that people are now waiting. Well, I had 2 printers, and they're pissed off right now. So I could only print those 12-inch frag racks on, and this is with the letters, on those 2 Ender 5s. And people were about 4 months out from getting them because there were so many orders that came in, and they take a day and a half to print each. And the problem is that my printers now took a dump on me. So yeah, I fried the PCB board in one, and the other one, the hot end is just took a dump. So what I was getting to is I emailed everybody who put in the 12-inch frag racks, and I told them that, hey, if it's okay, I will send you 2 of the 8-inch for each 12-inch that you bought, and that will make up for it. I'll send you the amount of legs and everything that you ordered as well, and PVC adapters or whatever you had on your order. I said that just to make sure that it was good to go. So if that's it, that's fine. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, then hit me up in the chat, and we can go from there. So yeah, hopefully that works. But let me see if there's any more things here, and we can head out. Nope. All right, that's good. Sammy says try Nios test kit for the low readings. You can give that a shot too. But yeah, I'm about to lose my voice. I don't know why. Allergies. Anyways, guys, that's about it for the live stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I am going to post the notification for next week, so just make sure you hit the let me know when it's happening. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday with another daily Q&A, and then I might post some this weekend. It depends. Maybe I'll just take the weekend off. It just depends on what's going on with work-wise. But yeah, I'm going to go downstairs and work for a few hours, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Peace.